four-currency world can, just take it as just. And I think that's the reason why this, for example, like the United States has, lost its baggage of the threat of Russia.
Thank you very much. I mean, that's a very interesting perspective that you gave me. And I think I've seen a lot of these perspectives, because I think one thing about international relations is that almost all of us have done our international relations from the textbooks and from the colleges, and like Fletcher School of Diplomacy is considered to be the #1 school of diplomacy and international relations. We are doing it entirely from a Western perspective. So whenever we study international relations, it's entirely from the point of view of the West and what is convenient for the West for us to believe. And I think this whole question about China and Russia becoming hostile to China is something that I have read extensively about. And I would like to again stress, the Russian population may be hostile to China, but the Russian elites are now feeling cornered, and they are turning to China. And Russia is a system in which the elite is running policy. In most countries, the elites run policy, including United States, including India, frankly. Whether you call it sort of a democracy or dictatorship, elites run policy. And in Russia, more than in other countries, elites run policy. So what is important here is that the elites are turning to China as a counter to this kind of, perceived maltreatment and actual maltreatment by the West. So I really do not think that, that there is a strong argument that the Russia is going to turn against China. I think the drift is in favor of better relations with China. Second point you raised about the United States. So I want to raise one issue which I think, everybody needs to be more to say about, the 2008 economic and financial crisis. That has been 1992 has been seen as a geopolitical turning point because of the fall of the Soviet Union. 1979 has been seen as a turning point because of the coming to power of Khomeini in Iran. And as a consequence, the Saudi regime turning to Wahhabism and, really funding a lot of very, very extreme religious preachers all over the world. 2008, for some reason, the geopolitical impact of 2008 has not really been studied by too many think tanks and by too many people. It is seen as an exclusively financial phenomenon. The reality is, it has created an immense geopolitical change. 3 or 4 ways. One is, the trust and confidence in Western institutions has disappeared after that. Now, I go very extensively to the Middle East. I go to the countries, as Dr. Chang said, I just come back from Damascus, I came back from Syria, and I go quite extensively to the Middle East. They used to blindly trust people from the West. If you go to the Arab countries, you go to the GCC countries, in every office, you find somebody from some European country who's running actually the business, who's giving the advice. And we used to joke that even if the local people, if the local sheikh wanted to know which food to eat, he'd have to consult a European, and the European must first say, no, you take this kind of food or you take that kind of food, or whether you should get up in the morning with this side of the bed. In everything, they've been so dependent on Europe because they trusted Europe and Europeans. They trusted Western people. 2008 showed that they can be cheated royally by the Western people, because 2008 the Arabs have lost about $1.3 trillion of assets. They have not lost it because of their fault. They were innocent. They have lost it because of greed, because of unethical behavior, because of extremely unjustifiable behavior for which, frankly, there has been absolutely no accountability. So you have a situation in which trillions have been lost and hardly a few people have gone to jail. Hardly a few people have been fined. Everybody has gone back with their huge bonuses and they're very, very happy. So this has created a crack in the image of the West as a country, as a place where you have the rule of law, integrity, etc. Of course, some of us have never acknowledged that the Western countries follow the rule of law. The rule of law and legal is meant for others to follow, not for them. Now they can arm, in the case of Syria, for example,